So this is We Happy Few, the psychedelic quasi-survival kind of crafting game from Compulsion Games, and I've been looking forward to this one for quite a while, ever since I saw that amazing trailer a few years back with the man running around and Uncle Jack on the TV saying, "Hey, have you taken your joy?" And the citizens beat the hell out of him. I had really high hopes for this game, and unfortunately, it's just not very good. Bad mechanics aside, which are throughout the entire game, it is broken in so many ways that I wasn't even able to finish the first of 3 campaigns because of how many times it soft locked on me. What do I mean by that? Well, for example, there was one quest where I had to obtain a valve to give to someone so he could stop a flow of water. I found the valve right before I accepted the quest. It was sitting right next to him. I pick it up, and then I go talk to the guy, and he's like, "I need for you to find this valve." I'm like, "Awesome, I have it in my inventory." But since I picked up the quest item before the quest was given, it didn't count in my inventory. And I couldn't go pick up the item because the item I was looking for was already in my inventory. And this was a main quest. I couldn't progress any farther. I had to go back and reload a game again. This happens multiple times throughout this game where just a quest bugs out and you cannot progress anymore. Additionally, there are just poor problems throughout the entire game. Invisible walls where there shouldn't be invisible walls, and areas that you can walk through that you shouldn't be able to walk through at first glance. It's really hard to tell what's going to be blocked off and not blocked off, especially if you're trying to sneak through foliage. There was one time in particular I'm thinking of where I got caught between 2 of the bobbies, the tall cops that you see, and I had an ability that didn't let them attack me at night. But they walked alongside me. One was in front of me, one was behind me, and kind of pinned me in a doorway for a little bit, neither one of them moving, and then the door closed on me. And I couldn't go anywhere. They wouldn't move. I was stuck. I couldn't fight my way out because I was stuck through the doorway, which closed on me, and I'm half in, half out of it. And it's just a bunch of nonsense like that that happens throughout the game. Now, even if the game-breaking bugs like that weren't a problem, this is a stealth game with bad stealth mechanics. You really can't tell if you're fitting in or not until you see a little triangle start appearing over people's heads, and you have so little time to react to that to try to calm them down that your best option is to just start running and get the hell out of town. Fortunately, you don't have to run very far before they forget what they were doing, which I guess is in theme with the psychedelic drug joy everyone has to be on, which kind of blanks your mind out. But it really isn't challenging as much as it is annoying. There will be times when you get like the entire town chasing you, you just run out and then you come back a few moments later and it's like nothing happened. There are some good things about this game. Uncle Jack, for example. You'll be walking through town and on the TVs is this lovely real life action British guy reading you bedtime stories or telling jokes. He's kind of like the big brother figure of this game. By the way, 1984 influence, Clockwork Orange influence, Brazil influence all over it, and I love it. Back to Uncle Jack, though. I could listen to him read the phone book. I loved all the Uncle Jack segments, and I will be YouTubing those clips later. I'd love to watch them in game, but like I said, the game's so broken, it didn't let me get past the first campaign. I got tired. After the 5th time I had to restart from a save, I was just done with it. The game doesn't respect my time because of how busted it is. Which is a shame because the lore in this setting are amazing. I love this alternate history 1963 England that they've created here with bits of Brazil, with bits of 1984, with bits of Clockwork Orange, just scattered all over the place. I wanted to dive deeper into Wellington Wells and figure out what the hell exactly happened, because the big mystery of the game is unraveling what happened 10 or 15 years ago, so I forget the exact year, to this city that made everyone go, we need to forget what the hell we did. And I loved the little tidbits that will come back as memory starts to flash up. And it's just a shame that such an amazing lore, something I'm so into, is wasted on this busted, broken game. And I do mean broken in multiple ways. This is the first open world game I've ever seen where the fast travel mechanic is broken. I don't mean like, oh, it takes forever or load scenes. I mean, you just cannot use it. In the game, there are these safe rooms called hatches. You go in there, and they're supposed to be all connected through the subway tunnels. And you can travel, in theory, between these two. But every single time I tried to travel from location to location, the game just says you can't do that. I could be on a main story quest, side quest, no quest, any situation I can imagine. And I tried multiple of them. It would never let me travel. And that's a problem because each of the main zones of this island are connected by these bridges that you have to pass through. To really successfully get past these bridges, you gotta pop joy because they have detectors set up to detect if you're on joy or not. The problem is you start taking too much joy, it has adverse effects to your character. So the game forced me to not use the mechanics it put in place to get around going through these bridges multiple times, and I kept pumping up the joy over and over again. Additionally, the world is just empty. About a good third to 2/3 of the map are just outside wilderness, which is empty, bland, boring. And even in the city, you start seeing the same buildings and signs over and over and over again. It gets really repetitive very quickly after a while. It's just an empty world that's easily 2 to 3 times bigger than it needs to be. And it feels like they threw it in there just to fill time. Because when the main story works, when the quests work, you can get through it kind of quick. Now, once again, I need to reiterate, I was not able to finish this game. So final length, I have no idea. Because after having to reload my save for the 5th or 6th time because of a quest line was broken, not just broken, but like unable to even be beaten. It's not like I could progress without an item. It's like, no, this is required to go further. I threw my hands up in frustration when I was done with it. You can clearly tell that this game also started as something else because many of the mechanics just make little sense in single player. You still have to eat and drink because if you start getting thirsty and hungry if you go for too long without eating. But the penalties to not eating and drinking are minimal at best. You have a stamina bar that determines how long you can run and how many swings of a weapon to use. And being hungry and thirsty reduces it maybe by 20%, maybe even 15%. And I never saw it go below that. It was rather pointless, to be honest with you. There's no reason to have to manage food or water in this game. And honestly, it's more of a hassle than it's worth. I kept it minimal throughout the entire game because I just didn't want to deal with all the extra weight from all the items around. And goddamn, are there a ton of items everywhere to pick up to be used in crafting. But beyond the basic lockpicks and hacking devices to get past the traps, most of the crafting is crap. They gave me items to get rid of nausea if I ate something bad, but because the penalty for not eating was so minimal, I didn't eat any of that stuff. There's all kinds of syringes to make people lose the effects of joy and they get crippled with the reality of what they did, but those rarely come into handy because the AI is either the sharpest thing you'll ever see and they can spot you a mile away, or so dumb you can walk up to them and punch them in the face and they wonder what the hell happened. Now, I don't know if that's supposed to be because of the effects of joy or not, but I don't think it is because a lot of times you would be in plain sight doing something horrible and they would just look at you and go, oh, I don't know what to do. I'm just going to stand here and gather in a group of like 3 people and all kind of trying to walk where they need to go, but they're just walking into each other. Or you could sneeze wrong and you have the entire town trying to kill you. It's heartbreaking that this game is so busted, that the AI is so dumb, that the world is so empty, because the lore is amazing. I want this game to be good. I really do, so I can actually dig deep into the lore, but it's just so frustrating and so unplayable. I'm not going to waste my time with it anymore. And the fact that they're going to be charging $60 for this is outrageous. I can't even recommend it for 20. It is a goddamn tragedy that this game turned out this way. That We Happy Few, which looked so amazing when it was first announced, became this weird schizophrenic hodgepodge of 2 separate games thrown together. It both wants to be BioShock and it wants to be, I don't know, it was originally conceived as a roguelike stealth game, survival game. It wants to be an open world survival game in BioShock, and it fails at them both. I almost wish this was a walking simulator. That's how bad the mechanics are. Like, tell me a story like Firewatch or Gone Home and let me just sit back and dig deep into the lore. And I would have been happier than what we ended up getting. I cannot, in good faith, recommend We Happy Few to anyone who might be watching this. If you have a morbid curiosity for it, pick it up during a Steam sale when it is $20 or less. I hate assigning price to entertainment values for video games, but until this gets patched, this is a travesty of a game, and I do not recommend it. This has been GamePoints Reviews We Happy Few. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I'll be seeing you.